Thanks very much. It's clear that the recommendations before us are not about BDS or divestment, and I guess I'm sorry if the talk of divestment has caused any misunderstanding or confusion or raised expectations being unrealistic about what decision is before us. It's not about do we divest from particular companies or a country. It's about do we engage further on human rights abuse allegations that have come from very credible sources. And the reason why it's coming here today is because that's what the last committee voted unanimously to do. We wanted a report on these issues. They've been coming up at committee in all kinds of directions, members of the public, members of the fund, and it's only right and proper that a decision is made to investigate it further. There's I think it could even be quite problematic to decide to exclude companies from our existing responsible investment policy. We have, and this is about environmental, social and governance issues. It's not about BDS. And those criteria and things should be applied equally and evenly to all companies that the pension fund invests in. Companies don't have a nationality. That if the pension fund invests in them, it's because they're like a PLC or equivalent, that the shares come from all over the world, from all different kinds of institutional and other investors. In companies, it's not, companies don't have a nationality that way. What we do have with our fiduciary duty is we have to make sure the pension fund members receive a decent pension and that their views are taken into account as about how they do that. And we've received a lot of communication recently as pension committee members. Many members of Merseyside Pension Fund want us to divest immediately from the 9 companies that have come to our attention first. We've had communication from Unison branches, Wirral, Liverpool, Sefton, Knowsley, from Unite the Union, from dozens of individual members. And it isn't going to be possible to divest or to change our investments at this meeting. All that's been asked for is a very reasonable and sensible thing, which is to investigate it further, to look into these allegations, to see if they've changed. We might get replies back from the companies. Maybe they want to share them publicly. The replies might say they're withdrawing from the alleged activities. I think it just happens that it's these companies that have come to our attention first. I am sure, and the policy and the recommendations will mandate that other areas of conflict around the world are investigated, companies are engaged with, and as a pension fund we do our responsibilities, do proper due diligence on those companies. And and we should be doing that, like we say, anywhere in the world, whether it's China against the Uyghur or Myanmar against the Rohingya population. And it pains me that we're looking at the only Jewish state in the world, and it pains me because I'm Jewish and I have friends and family in Israel, and we do need to be treating all areas of conflict around the world equally, but we also shouldn't be excluding Israel from standard measures of human rights and proper company behaviour just because it's Israel. Or waiting, we shouldn't be waiting before we've done it for every company before we do on some companies. We should, just as we don't wait in other parts of the ESG policy, we look at climate change and tobacco or whatever, and we deal with things as and when they arise. Couple more points. Particularly about we're not here to go ahead with our party position or our personal position. We're here to mind the pension fund money of the pension fund members. That's our fiduciary duty, and that's our responsibility, not the responsibility of the Secretary of State or the government or other stakeholders, and if we can hear what people are saying. And I'm a bit concerned that Councillor Kenny has already stated that how he will vote without listening to the full debate. And has referred to the whip also. I think we should be considering decisions based on all the relevant evidence before us, and making our minds up at the end of the debate. And obviously parts of this debate will continue, regardless of what we decide. In a way, I hope that more information comes to a future meeting, as the recommendations say. And we also have to consider the impact that our decisions have on community cohesion. So our decisions on this issue will affect Jewish communities. They'll also affect Arabic communities, Palestinian communities in the UK and in the occupied Palestinian territories. So all those factors need to be taken into account as well. But basically, the recommendations are very sensible. Will provide us with the information to make a more fully informed decision at a future pension committee. Thank you.